let's take a look a little bit more on the prompts and how prompts works. If I click on my dinoprompt file, so for context, dinoprompts is similar to what we have in dinorules. So it's a file that sits in your repository. And this, I'll just collapse this for a sec for visibility. And this dinoprompts file is basically how you can build your library of reusable prompts. So if you scroll down, we'll see those are the ones that are loaded by default when using DinoAI. You can change them, you can modify them, of course. So I have one that generates full description, updated sources of YAML, generate them, generate model for sources, refactor DBT models, document and test DBT model. So the good thing is that if we were to write the same prompt on and on, most likely we will end up writing slightly different version of the same prompt. Like this, we can actually create a library, we can reuse it. And some of you are probably familiar with gingers and curly brackets. So what we implemented for this is the ability to use variable within the prompt. This means that when we are actually using the prompt, we can infer or fetch additional context based on the variable provided. So for example, here we have editor.currentFile.path, which means that we add to the prompt when we are sending the prompt to the agent, the ability to fetch the file that is currently open, which is what we saw just now. But also we have other things like get diff with origin and default branch, which you're going to look in a few minutes on how to create pull requests. Let's go ahead and take another example now. Classic one is, let's say I'm going to create and start a new chat. I go on prompt and I want to document and test my DBT model. So it's a pretty long prompt, but it's actually pretty powerful because it's defined a set of rules. Then we want to make sure that the agent is going to follow when generating the descriptions. Again, because this prompt uses the variable of current file path, which means that it's the file that is currently open in my editor, we automatically attach the context from that file itself. So if I go ahead and press send, now, again, we are sending the context to the agent with our request. And it's going to go ahead and automatically understand to read our file and ultimately generate the YAML files that we want with the descriptions and the tests provided. We are seeing already with existing users how this speed up how people interact with our agent, but more importantly, how they can get a consistent and repeatable experience when generating YAML files, documentation, whether it's test or simply generating model and creating aliases and so on. That's something that, yeah, super excited about what's coming. I'm really looking forward also for what users are coming up in terms of prompts as well. While this is completing, the next thing I want to show now is about how we can actually edit this, so what the editing process looks like for generating this prompt. So I'll just go ahead and open this file now. Ultimately, this is YAML, which means that as soon as we add a YAML formatted prompt, this will be made available for us in the menu as well. Now I have my newly generated YAML files. It follows our Dino rules in terms of how we want this to be configured. And now I can go ahead and click on accept. And now the new file is created there. Now, let's say I want to update my prompt with something new. I have one that I've pre-prepared already. So I'll just gonna maybe collapse this for a sec. I'm on a bit of a small screen today. It's as simple as just providing a name and then the prompt with the pipe to make sure that we maintain spaces. So